Hello ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tuning into this week's episode of Jim Makes Cartoon. This is Jim and I'm making a cartoon. This week I'm working on the scenery for Dictator Cat, starting with an external view of the house. Not a whole lot to say about this house, it's really just going to be used for establishing shots for the most part. It's not really based on anything in particular other than a few reference images I pulled up from Google about typical suburban houses, and that's really about it. I wish I had something a little more interesting to say about it. I do have a little bit more to say about the inside of the house. I decided that the house isn't really going to have too specific of a floor plan, so there'll probably be inconsistencies between episodes as far as how the house is laid out. On the technical side of things, for the cat tower, I actually designed a switch layer. Now, a switch layer in Anime Studio is actually a type of folder in which you can place two or more other vector layers. Only one is visible at any given time, and it can be changed whenever you like. Thus the name Switch Layer. To kind of break this down a little bit more, in Dictator Cat, the cat tower he plays in has two versions. Now I wanted these to be relatively similar, but different enough that you could tell the difference between the reality and Strudel's imagination. So I made the real cat tower, the pink fluffy one, first, then duplicated the layer, and then tweaked it so it looked more like that kind of grim castle that he imagines himself to be in. So that when timed correctly, such as the lightning strike in the first episode, the pink fluffy tower disappears and then is instantaneously replaced by the scary castle tower. Also, the window behind him is a multi-layer mask. In this case, I have a box to represent the window and then a gradient placed behind it because the sky, if you look really closely, is never actually just a solid shade of one color. It fades from darker to lighter as you reach the horizon. The reason you would want to mask this is so that you can move that gradient depending on the time of day. So if it's later in the day when the sky is starting to get darker, I can actually drag the gradient down and not have to rearrange the entire window. At the same time, when I want to add something like a weather effect or a different background, that can easily be added right in there. And I don't have to worry about cutting out certain parts so that it matches up with the window because the mask has done that for me already. After that, it's really just drawing more vectors and making adjustments based on the camera angle. Alright, so on something almost totally unrelated, one of the problems I've run into in this journey of trying to become more creative is my habit of trying to overanalyze and overdevelop my projects. An example of this is a series about time travel that I wanted to put together and start releasing sometime next year. I'd already written a few characters and started to develop the story and the world that it exists in, and then about a week ago, Remedy Entertainment and Microsoft went ahead and published their new game, Quantum Break. Now, I didn't know a whole lot about Quantum Break before last night. I knew it was a game for Xbox, and I don't own an Xbox, so it wasn't really on my radar. But then on the YouTube featured page, I saw a couple of gameplay videos, and I clicked on them. And as it turns out, there are a ton of elements in Quantum Break that are almost identical to the time travel story that I was writing. Just to give a few examples of the very close similarities between my time travel series and Quantum Break, the main character has powers of time manipulation. Several characters work for a shadowy, gigantic corporation that wants to control the time machine. The time machine itself is huge. That's actually one of the concepts I thought of because I figured, hey, something that needs enough energy to time travel is probably going to be humongous. Well, they kind of thought of the same thing. Even really obscure stuff that I was going to bring in as a storytelling tool, like the Novikov self-consistency conjecture, is actually brought up in Quantum Break, or that all the fiddling with time is starting to tear the universe apart. Now, my series was gonna be mostly a comedy, whereas Quantum Break takes the straight approach. And obviously I'm not accusing anybody of stealing my ideas. I didn't tell anybody but my wife about this. I don't know anybody at Microsoft or Remedy Entertainment. It was just a coincidence. We happened to think of the same ideas. But because the video game developers got to it first, and because there are so many specific factors that are incredibly similar to what I was thinking of, there's no way I could put out the series as I've written it so far and not be accused of plagiarism. Oh, and this isn't the first time this has happened either. So my channel name, Friday Night Wonders, actually has nothing really to do with the day of Friday. In case you haven't noticed, besides the cartoons, almost all of my videos come out on Tuesdays. Maybe I should change that just to eliminate any confusion that the name might be causing, but that's a discussion for another time. Now you see, Friday Night Wonders is actually an idea I thought of back in high school. It was supposed to be about a team of superheroes who really had kind of lame powers. Like, one guy's power was to basically throw snowballs, another person could run kind of faster than average, another person is a little bit stronger than average, and the joke was that they were all really insecure and weren't all that good at fighting crime, and occasionally would simply use their powers to show off to women and get dates. But then that project got two big blows. The first was a comic called Super Frat, which had essentially the same concept of teenagers with superpowers using their powers to get dates. So I tweaked the story a little bit, made it less about the whole insecurity and dating aspect, made it more about these beings with kind of silly superpowers. And then a series came out, I want to say last year or the year before that, called The Awesomes, which was, again, almost identical to the concepts that I had thought of earlier. So that's how this channel got its name. It's from a series that I wanted to put out, but then didn't because I hesitated and other people put out similar ideas first. I think the lesson I need to take from all of this is to simplify a little bit. Maybe I just need to start making outlines and having the characters and stories develop themselves. So, yeah, rant over. Now, has this happened to any of you out there? Have you ever thought of an idea that you thought was really awesome and then it turned out somebody else had already done it, or even possibly done it better than you? Let me know in the comments section, because I honestly really don't want to feel alone in this. As always, thank you for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe, and please, please, please share. Keep an eye out for the next episode of Dictator Cat coming out pretty soon here, and I'll see all of you amazing folks next week.